Aloha, soul family on earth. We are all on one large community together, and that is our planet Earth. So it's a wonderful opportunity to be here, and my message for you today is that a garden somewhere is hoping for your help. And we are designed to live in gardens and to co-create with them, with the wild biota, the wild life forms of plants and animals and fungi. And when we're here in the garden, we can make things better for them. And as we tend the garden, and so it's such a great thing to be part of a plant community that you can tend to, and you get food and the community gets food. And one of the first things that I would like to talk about today, two reasons why this is true. The first reason is that human waste in the garden feeds the garden. That's our pee and our poo feeds the garden. And this is exactly how all other life forms do this. Like if you imagine the fish out in the ocean and, the wildlife in forests, their bodily waste returns to the soil. And I was reading or watching a YouTube video today about how urine has the same things in it that fertilizer has, which is the NPK. And that is the kind of fertilizer that greens up leaves. So that's very interesting that our gardens actually get helped when we put our urine into the garden and we get the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And I saw this, like I said, on a video, and those are what we buy in our fertilizer things to green up plants, the NPK. So we have witnessed here that it works on certain particular plants where my husband tends to pee. They're amazingly beautiful. So I wanted to share that the garden actually benefits from our human waste and that we don't need to buy fertilizer. And the other thing, well, you might say, well, that's only NPK. What about minerals and stuff like that? Well, here is the second way that as humans, we can benefit the garden by living with it. So you might see this ash here on the ground. I took this out from the fireplace where we had a lovely fire the other night when it was cold. And so putting this biochar out here is basically all of the twigs and things that we have collected from the garden. And then we warm ourselves with the fire, and then we put the ash out here around the trees. And why would we put it out here around the trees? Because it contains the exact minerals that the trees lost when they lost their twigs. So you can see that it's returning the minerals that the tree needs to rebuild itself. So here in this case are some bits of dead wood that I trimmed off of this apricot tree. And now I will collect these pieces of dead wood and use them for kindling in the fire. So it's really fun. And then that also took all the dead wood off the tree, and you can see all the new buds are starting to grow, even though it's December. Like here's some that need to come off. Right here you can see, and you can always tell if they're crackly. If they crack easily, then they were dead. Like this whole thing is probably dead. And you can break it all the way off. But anyway, so that's where it helps the tree and it helps the human because we get warm by the fire. And so see how perfectly that fits together? And then we bring this out and it's much more usable, user-friendly for the plant. Because it doesn't have to wait for all that decomposition to happen before it can use those minerals again. So that's another way in which we really complement being in the garden. And I say the garden needs us to help it grow beautifully, and we need the garden to help us live a beautiful life. And here are some of the bits that I've collected for tonight's fire, just in a little wooden bin. So you can see that we have a perfect plant fertilizer when we use our human waste and our ashes from the fireplace. Well, maybe not perfect, but I would say it's really complete with a lot of minerals and NPK. So that rounds out the plant fertilizer components when we mix both of those two, the human waste and the biochar. So in conclusion, I would like to say nature has really designed everything, and we are part of nature's design. And it's so fun to be a part of a garden, and it's so freeing because you don't need to buy as many things and be as much of a slave. And plus you have food around you all the time. So I really wanted to show you these two ways that our bodies work in harmony with our gardens, and that we are a member of the natural community. Human waste and biochar, or fireplace ashes. Okay? I hope that excites you, that we're here to be a part of all of this beauty. And I send you so much love and aloha. Take our path to infinite abundance by growing a food forest near you.